Hi, my name is Conor O'Neill and I'm Product Manager for Red Hat Mobile. Today I'll be showing you how easy it is to create an app in our mobile application platform. We'll be looking in depth at projects, apps, and also local development with our command line tool, FHC. But let's begin by, first of all, creating a new project. Projects are a powerful new way to organize your app development efforts and to manage your app's lifecycle from initial development, testing, and release to ongoing maintenance. Projects contain your client apps, cloud apps, and MBAS services, and they also have any data and configuration associated with them. And you can create as many of these as you wish in a project. So to create our app, first of all, we're going to create that new project. The platform offers a number of project templates to choose from out of the box, from forms to Hello World applications. And for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to create a new project based on our Hello World template, and we're going to give the project the name Hello Video. So we're now viewing the creation process for our project, and there's a few things happening here. So first of all, obviously the project itself is being created, but also two new apps are being created within this project from our various templates, a client mobile app and a Node.js cloud app. We're also creating Git repositories for these applications, one per app, and we're deploying the cloud app into our containerized system. So with our project now created, we can click Finish. And here we're presented with the project dashboard that shows us the client apps, the cloud code apps, and the MBAS services associated with this project. In this case, we don't have any MBAS services. So let's explore the two apps in our project. So first of all, we'll click on the Hello Client app. So we've got a simple Hello World client app. If we just zoom in there a little and you type our name, we get Hello Conor back from the cloud. A very, very simple thing indeed. But let's look at some code to see how that works. The editor is a very useful way for making quick edits and viewing code, though you're more likely to be editing your app's code in the editor of your choice. If we navigate to index.html, we can see the simple HTML behind this app. We've got some text, an input area that takes some text, a button to call our cloud app, and a div for inserting the response of our cloud call into. In Hello.js, we have an event bound to a click event on our button, which calls our cloud app via our $fh.cloud API. We pass this API some parameters such as the RESTful route of the action we're calling and some data we'd like to pass to the cloud request. The success callback of this particular cloud call will echo the cloud's response into our cloud response div. So now let's have a look at the cloud app to see what logic is triggered when we press our say hello button. So here we see the cloud app details screen. We can see that our cloud code is running as well as some other details. If we navigate to the editor, we can see the actual code itself. If you have a look at application.js, you can see how our Node.js app works. Our cloud app in this case is just a regular standard Node.js Express application. To this, we've mixed in some Red Hat mobile application platform functionality via our MBAS Express middleware. We can see our routes configured for this Express app in the normal way, including a handler for our hello route. This is the same route called when we press the say hello button in our client app. So let's take a look at what's going on in this route. Here we can see some route handlers for the hello route. It responds to both HTTP GET and POST responses. We've configured Express in this example with its body parser middleware, so it can parse out JSON from the request body, look at form encoded parameters or GET parameters. These parse parameters are then available on the body parameter of the request object. In this example, a hello parameter is sent in the JSON body of a post to the /hello route. We can fetch the value passed via the rec.body.hello, and this route simply sends back a JSON response, which echoes the hello parameter back to the client, which in turn puts this response text, as we said, into our cloud response div. So let's going to make now two simple changes to our client and cloud apps. We're going to add a timestamp to the responses from our cloud app, and then in the client we're going to display this timestamp after pressing say hello. Now, we could do these changes in the editor within the App Studio, but we find that most developers prefer to make changes to their apps locally within their own tools. And we're going to assume for the rest of this, the purposes of this demonstration, if you want to follow along, that you've got Node.js and NPM installed locally. You can find lots of instructions online for how to do this. To develop locally, we're going to use our command line tool FHC. I already have it installed, but if you wish to install it, very simply sudo npm install fh-fhc. With FHC installed, we can now use it to clone the source code of our apps from the Git repository set up for our apps. You can clone these just using standard Git commands because they are standard Git repos, but FHC just makes it a little easier because it clones all of the repos in one single command. If you follow the FHC instructions, you'll know that you have to target your particular environment that you're using, and once you've done that and once you've logged in, you can do something as simple as FHC projects list. And what that does is, based on your login and your permissions, it shows you all of the projects that you have access to. Now, if we go back to our project here, we'll see we've got a project ID. You can see it in the project details page, or in my case, I'm just copying it from the actual URL inside the studio. And we can now do FHC projects clone that project ID. And what happens now is it goes and it runs all of the Git commands in the background to actually Git clone both your client and cloud apps. And this can take a moment or two. Now, the next thing we're going to do for our local development, as you can see, we now have two directories, Cloud App and Cordova Light App. So let's cd into our Cloud App in this window and cd into our Cordova app in this window, and we type npm install in both cases to install all of our npm module dependencies. Whilst we're waiting for that to happen, we can actually do grunt serve local for our client application, which launches our client application inside Chrome. So if we do grunt serve for the cloud code, this now runs your Node.js code locally and watches for any changes that might happen. And if we now type Connor, say hello from the cloud, we've got hello Connor. So now we have our cloud code and we have our client code. It's all been downloaded and we have it locally. So what we're going to do is, as we said, we're going to make a small change to the code so you can see how everything works. So in this particular case, what we're basically doing is we're going to add a timestamp response to our code. We do that very simply like this, and there's a little more to it than that. And we save that file. So that's now responding with an extra parameter called timestamp. And if we go into our client code that we have here, I'm just using the Atom editor. You can obviously use whatever editor suits yourself. And we take that and we create a div that can accept that response back. We do Command S there. And obviously we'll need a little bit of JavaScript. So let's do that. We'll save that. And let's refresh our page. And all having gone well, what we should see is, yes, hello Connor, along with the timestamp, because as you can see, the node code itself automatically restarted when it was noticed that a file had changed. So now that we've done that, we've shown the entire local development flow. Let's exit out of our two apps there, and let's commit our code back to the Red Hat mobile application platform. So we do a commit there, We do your classic. And we do the same here. And this is where it gets even more interesting, but it's really showing the flow that goes from the platform and development inside the studio on the platform, and then moving locally. But then once you're done locally, once you've made all your changes, you've done all your testing, everything you want to do with your local tools, then you can push back up so that we can then show you how to actually build the mobile app binary. So that's now. So if we now go to the client app and we zoom in a little and we type in my name, and you can see the new code has obviously been pushed up into the studio and is now running inside the studio. But now let's go to the build screen. So now we can make use of the build farm, which enables us to build binaries for any of the supported platforms in the cloud without needing any of those local development tools on your local machine. So we've clicked build there to get the build started. Now that our build is complete, you get a QR code that you can use to install the app on your mobile device. You've got a short link there directly to the APK that you install, or you could obviously just download it onto your local machine. But what I'll actually do here is I'm going to make use of a real device. My phone's actually attached to this Mac, and I'm running a piece of software called Visor, which will let me basically do screen sharing to the device. So I'm pointing at, as you can see there, I've pointed at the screen to get the QR code using a barcode scanner. I hit that URL, it goes and grabs it, downloads the file. I can then open the APK, hit next, hit install. It's now installing my app for me on the device, on the real device, and we'll hit open. And now this app that's running is now connected to the same cloud code we've been talking about all along, running inside the platform. I do say hello from the cloud, and there we have it, Hello Connor, along with the timestamp change that we made. And that's really it. That's showing the whole end-to-end process, and just how easy it is to do both development with the platform and doing your own local development. You saw everything from project creation to the use of FHC and the installation of the final app on your device. That's it for today's demo. Watch out for lots more videos in this series, and thanks very much for your time.